myself, which was February the 10th this year. I'd come from Clinique in the UK and loved my job immensely. And I hadn't really heard of Oriflame that much. And I'd been in the beauty industry for 16 years. And then I joined and heard these incredible stories. I heard about the community, people building their business, people really transforming their lives through this amazing brand, company, and community. And I felt like I need to hear those stories more. And I was so interested and fascinated into how everybody had become part of this. And I thought that's our challenge a little bit. Like, how do we share our story in new, exciting ways and share them with each other so we all kind of motivate each other, because everybody's story is a little bit different, but everyone's story is compelling. So this session is around, oh, hello, we've got a little guest in the background there climbing on mummy. This session is about kind of sharing together and hopefully feeling really inspired to go and share our own story and that of others a little bit more during this time. So it's again very interactive. So I'm hoping that the chat box will explode again like it did last time. And I would really invite you to give as much as you can to this session, because you'll get so much out of it. So today, that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be talking about our story. Why Oriflame? Why me? Why now? And I think sometimes when we ask that question, we think about when we first started, don't we? So when you first start with Oriflame, you probably tell your story quite a bit, because it's something that you've made the decision quite recently, and you're thinking, right, I've gone for Oriflame because it's offered me this opportunity. Or maybe it's in your Facebook profile that you're a mumpreneur, or you're someone who works part-time and wanted additional income, and you see that as kind of your story that's just out there in the universe. I can see some nods, like you feel like you've done it when you start. But actually what we want to think about is how that story evolves and how it can inspire others to make that leap into joining, because all the videos in the world, all the great products in the world, they don't get your heart like a really good story. So we all know how proud we are of being with Oriflame and being partnered with them. But I wanted to start our day today with a little activity that really speaks to you. So we can do this as an online event that I'm doing here, but you can do it offline as well, as soon as we're allowed to talk to each other and spend some time. But I want you to have a think now, all of you. So Julie, Sue, Sophia, Vicky, Chloe, Petra, Dodd XU6W6QLK. I want to hear your stories. So what I'd love you to do, if you feel comfortable, is write in the chat box. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to do so. I want to know why you joined Oriflame. It doesn't matter whether you've been here 2 months or 10 years. I'd love to hear your story. And I want you to add as much detail as you can and as you feel comfortable with, and just pop it in the chat box. Like, what was it that made you join Oriflame? So we're going to take a couple of minutes. I'll do mine as well. So I'll write mine in the chat box, or I'll share mine as you're writing. And we're going to read a few out loud, and we're going to kind of see some common threads and some of those stories. Oh, I'm excited. So really be honest, authentic, share the kind of emotion and passion that you feel about Oriflame. Oh, the concentration, I can see it in the faces. Hi Louise, hi Jenny and Jason, hi Rosalind, Leah, Sarah Jane, Mary, Tracy Payne, Paul. My God, there's so many people in here. Pam, Aya, of course. Jackie Venables is back, great. Angela, Peggy, Ruby. Leslie's iPhone. I hope Leslie's there as well. Oh my goodness, they're coming in. So Vicky, right, a second income. Yeah, absolutely. Pam, I was looking for something different to inspire and motivate me. Oh my God, they're really coming in thick and fast. I joined Oriflame. This is Sue Wild. I joined Oriflame so I could work from home and be a carer for my son. Mary, Oriflame fits around my health issues. It's given me a new lease of life. Mary Plum came as attempt to cover a maternity leave in 1981 and ... That's a long maternity leave that person had. Hi, I joined because, this is Peggy Wilder, I joined because I wanted to give my daughter a more secure life, more freedom and luxuries than we've had in the past. Wow, there's so many. Where else? Christine Bennett, I used to sell it years ago, loved the product, so it was a no-brainer to join again. Debbie, I joined when I had cancer and was told I couldn't work for 12 weeks, but I was pulling my hair out. Oh my goodness, Debbie, I think we can all probably relate to that feeling. If you're a real worker and then you get told you can't do anything, you need that release. And I'm so glad Oriflame was there for you at that point. And look at you now. Julie Charman, I was looking for something exciting to do from home. I think there are many people out there at this point looking for that. Rachel, I was joined because I needed to fund learning to drive and buying and paying car insurance. Like something tangible, like I need to fund learning to drive. How am I going to do that? This is an opportunity. Louise, I joined Oriflame because my friend was a consultant. I bought a few times off her and absolutely loved the products. I was very unsure about joining, but it was the best thing I ever did. I love the camaraderie, the new friends I've made, and of course, the extra income. Love that. So you joined because your friend was there and you're like, yeah, the products are pretty good. They're really nice. But can I do this? Is this the right thing for me? You took that leap. Anna Mould, I work in the film industry, so I've not been able to work during lockdown. So I was looking for something to keep me occupied. I also love skincare and makeup. So I thought it was a fun job that could keep me busy. Absolutely. That's how I started in cosmetics. Fun job, keep me busy. Angela, back injury in 2007, spinal fusion resulted. I had to give up work as a social worker, went into MLM because needed to do something. Now with Oriflame, it's great. That's wonderful, Angela. Oh my God, Chloe Green, been doing voluntary work since I was 3 years old with my nan and always inspired to run my own business. So when the lovely Sue introduced me to Oriflame, I thought it would give me more skills, motivation, and my first ever income. I haven't regretted it for a second. Jenny, hi Rachel, I joined so I could stay at home with my small son. He's 9 now, not a moment's regret. Love that. So it's something you kind of start off thinking temporary. Maybe I do this for a little bit and then I go back to my normal life, or I do this and I might try it and might be okay, but it's not quite something that I see myself doing long term. And then you get addicted to this amazing community, don't you? I came over to Oriflame 2 years ago as part of the Infinity Group. Being honest, I didn't think I could make it work. So this is Petra. I was not a person to use makeup and skincare, etc. I came because of Pamela Kent and the group. The togetherness was something I loved. I'm unable to keep up a full-time job and needed something to do more than anything else, but absolutely love it now, loving the products. Tracy Payne, I joined Oriflame to build a business that would give me back my freedom, my passion for working with amazing people who wanted the same. Sensational products, company believed in, and people helping them to achieve my dreams. Teresa started 7 years ago, was with Avon, found a better company that I absolutely love and some extra money. Whoop, whoop. Jane Carthy, get out of my comfort zone, build my confidence. Kim Wheeler, 2 toddlers, work part-time, all of the directions, all of the time. I think we can all relate to that so much. You just feel like, where's the me bit in this? Where's my support? Work from home constantly, spend more family time at home, selling products I love. Julie joined Oriflame. I wanted to do something different. Denise, I used to work for Oriflame many years ago, went into retail. My last job being with YSL, and then opened a salon 4 years ago with my daughter. Jenny and Jason joined Oriflame for the amazing opportunity to work from home, but also because of the amazing team. Wendy, 1988, joined to make new friends in a new area with the intention of supporting my animals when I had a family. Rosalind, I joined something for myself. I've got 2 boys with ADHD, wanted something for myself instead of just being a mum. This is the best thing I've ever done. Thank you, Sarah Cheeseman, for all your help. Finally, Stacey Barker, I joined so I could earn some money and be with my family and still not miss any milestones or school events. And Sarah C, I joined Oriflame to have a flexible job that fits in with my daughters, and I wanted to have more time with them. Didn't realise how much I would fall in love with the company and the products. And finally, Pamela joined in 1978 to earn extra money. Still here 42 years later, still loving it. Wow, I need a drink of water. That is incredible. That's incredible. Does anyone feel quite inspired by those stories? Yeah, I'm kind of like, this is just amazing. I just want to copy and paste these and stick them somewhere and read them a quieter time as well and really absorb these amazing reasons to join Oriflame. Have a little drink of water. So these are all compelling in different ways, and some of you have added quite a lot of detail. Some of you have gone for something quite top line. This is what I wanted, almost that kind of compelled to tell me. So what I'm going to do now is I'll tell you my story, because that's only fair, isn't it? But also I want you to think about the last time you really shared your story. So I'll tell you mine, and I have to be careful because I'm a very emotional person, as you can probably tell, and I may get emotional. So just off the bat, if that happens, forgive me. So I went back to work with my lovely job clinique in April 2019. My daughter was 10 months on the button. She was 10 months. And she went back to nursery. She went to nursery 3 days a week, and with my husband's parents 2 days a week. And I worked in London. I lived in West Sussex on the coast. So it took me about 2.5 hours each way to get to my job every day. So it was about 5 hours commuting every day. So I never saw her in the morning, and I barely saw her at night. I would see her for 10 minutes and it was like, bang, dinner, bath, bed, like get to bed. And she wasn't sleeping the best at that point either. So it was a bit full on. I loved my job very much. And then in June of last year, I lost my dad relatively suddenly. So, you know, you get the call and it's a tough call, and then you go up there. And we had this amazing sort of magical week with him, which we weren't supposed to get in the hospital. We were that family, you know, that family that everyone looks at, that get to sleep in the hospital room for a week. And I remember the feeling when I lost my dad was awful, of course, but he was my biggest fan, right? So he was my biggest fan to the end. He used to call me every day. He texted me every day. He'd say, go on, Rach, you've got this, teeth on high beam. That was my dad, right? And even at his last days, he was my biggest fan. And he grabbed my hand and he was like, Rachel, come on, you've got to keep going and keep going. I'm so proud of you. Like everything I did, I'm so proud of you. You've got this, you've got this. And he said, you keep going and never stop. That was kind of his philosophy for me. Anyway, I went back to work pretty much straight away because I'm not very good at doing nothing. And I went back to work and just had this realization that I was maybe not spending my life the way I should. I was spending a lot of time on trains and tubes, and I wasn't really spending time with the people that mattered, and those people were my family. But I loved it and carried on. And then I got a call from Oriflame, and I was really missing my biggest fan. So I was missing my dad and the kind of, you know, the constant cheering that he did for me. I missed that. And I met the first person from Oriflame, who was Peter Unsworth, and he reminded me of my dad's behaviour. He was everybody's biggest fan. I just thought that was the most amazing thing ever. And then I met everybody else at Oriflame through the recruitment process, and I realised that they all felt like my biggest fan as well, and everybody else's biggest fan. And that's why I'm here. So now I get to work with people like my dad, and I think he'd be so proud. Sorry. Oh goodness. Yeah, I think he'd be so proud that I've gone to a company that just feels like everybody is your biggest fan, no matter where you work, no matter what your title, no matter whether you work 8 hours a week to build your business or 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It doesn't matter. You feel like you're part of something really special. And I think Lou Woods is his name. Lou Woods would be totally in on this call, working out how to turn himself off mute and get excited. So yeah.
Excuse me, Rachel, it's fantastic what you share. Thank you for sharing.
So yeah, so that's my story. Thank you so much for the lovely comments. But now I want to throw it back to you guys, because it's sometimes hard to tell your story, isn't it? Sometimes you feel a little bit vulnerable telling your story. But when you do, you impact people in a really lovely way. So thank you so much for these lovely messages coming in, because actually it's hard to tell it. It is hard for me to tell it, but it means the world when you do tell it and you get that lovely response back. So now I'm going to take a moment, and I want you to think about your story and the emotions that you feel about Oriflame and what it's done for you in your life and your community. And this one you don't have to put in the chat box, but I want you to take what you've written before and expand it and really kind of add some extra little nuggets of detail in there that maybe you don't always think about or you don't always talk about. And I'm just going to give you a couple of minutes to just rest on that and add a little bit to your story. So maybe pop it in your phone notes and really think about how this brand, this community has affected you and why you feel so compelled to share it with others. So if I just give you 2 minutes to do that, that would be amazing. And I'm just going to take a second, maybe get a tissue. I'll be right back, excuse me. Hello, bought some extras just in case you guys make me cry. So hopefully you're thinking and you're adding a little bit of detail to your personal story. And then once you've got that, so once you've expanded it a little bit and you've thought about how you and your personality connect that, yeah? And then if anyone would like to share, you can feel free to take yourself off mute and let me know, or just pop in the chat box, I'd like to share my story a little bit more. If you wish not to, there's no pressure here at all. But if anyone wants to share a little bit more about the detail behind your story, that would be amazing. Chloe Green, I don't mind sharing. Brilliant. Would you like to go ahead, Chloe?
Hi guys.
Hi.
Just checking it's working. Yeah, you can hear me? Good.
We can hear you.
A lot of my work, because I've been doing it since I was 3, it was all because of my nan. My nan, I'm telling you, my nan is a hardworking woman. She raised me after raising her sons when I was 3 weeks old, and she worked her, sorry for my language, her ass off.
Yeah.
So I've always inspired to be like her. She's constantly working, always on her feet. Sadly, nowadays, she shows signs of dementia.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like my work is kind of my way of thanking her. You know, telling her that I want to be like you. I'm going to continue the work that you do. And not only that, this is what my great grandma would have wanted as well, because she was my role model. She was an angel. Sadly, she's passed away. She was the only person I could really talk to. So I feel that doing my work today, joining Oriflame, all that, aspiring to do more and be more confident, stuff like this, because I'm nervous talking to you guys.
Oh my God, you can't tell at all, Chloe. It's a brilliant story.
I just feel like it's what they would have wanted.
Yeah.
It's what my nan would want. It's what my great grandma would want. And whilst doing this, I'm caring for my nan right now, so.
So you're multitasking. I'd love to point out your amazing makeup today. Your lip is beautiful, the foundation is stunning.
You.
So not only are you just bossing through life, you're also looking fabulous while you do it. So tick, tick, and you'd make me want to join Oriflame because you just have that great energy, that work ethic, but you're a human being and you're sharing a little bit about you as well, which is amazing. So thank you, Chloe. That's lovely. Thank you. I've got, let's take 2 more. Christine Bennett, I don't mind sharing. Can you put yourself off mute, Christine? Are you there for me?
Yeah, I have.
Hello.
Hi. Yeah, my story, I was like you, I had a job that literally I went out at 7 in the morning and I came in at 10 on the night.
Yeah.
Gave me soul to it for 30 years. 36, I was diagnosed with cancer 3 times and told I wouldn't survive. So I had chemo and everything. I did voluntary work in the NHS while I was having chemo, which helped. And then I started in the NHS, and for 30 years I never had a day's holiday. I worked all hours, God send. Left my husband, had a long story in between, but I never gave up. That was the main thing. And eventually met John, my husband. We've been together 12 years. Hasn't been an easy 12 years. His health deteriorated, on home oxygen, financial problems, nearly lost the house. But we kept going.
Yeah.
And I used to sell Oriflame through that time years ago. Came back to it the year gone January. We did have a struggle for the first year. Things weren't going well financially everywhere. And then just after Christmas, it started to take off. I then went downhill again, and I did really think about packing in and think, no, I'm not doing it. But then about 6 weeks ago, I think it was, I just thought, no, I've put all this time into it. I'm going to do this. Like I say, I don't give up.
Go on, Christine.
Now just flying, and I just love it so much. But you do need that one person behind you, and that person is my husband.
He was physically behind you just then as well. I saw him. That's amazing.
He does the washing, he does the ironing, he does the cleaning while I sit in this little corner doing my business. And without that, I couldn't do it. Yeah.
That's amazing. Christine, thank you for sharing. And you're absolutely right. You do need a buddy in this, don't you? You need someone who, when it's going not great, and you're like, I can't do this, it's a nightmare, nothing's working, help me, help me, help me. You need someone to just say, look, let me talk to you about where I've been. Let me help you. Let me share a little bit more about my story, the ups and downs, the reality of life running your own business. And let's talk together and create a bit of a plan. And I think you're bang on the money, Christine. This is not something you can do alone, is it? You need that support from your peers, from your community. And part of that support comes from saying, hey, this is me. This is why I joined. These are the things that I love about it. These are the things that I struggle with here and there. And this is what I can bring to you. So you can have this lovely equality around bringing people into the business. It doesn't feel like anything is out of reach for them, which I think is so important. So I love that story. I'm going to take one more that I saw earlier. Let me just see. Oh my goodness, the chat's so busy I can't see. I think I've got Petra. Can we take one from Petra?
Yeah, sure.
Hey, Petra.
Hi. I joined Oriflame 2 years ago, I think it was the 15th actually of May.
Yeah.
I came over as part of Vista and Infinity Group.
Yes.
And to be honest, as I said when I was writing it, I know from what I've been told that this was an absolutely amazing company.
Yeah.
But as you can see, I'm me, that's it. I don't wear makeup. I do for lives and for customers and stuff like that, but you would never see me with it all day. Never use skincare, never used anything apart from just the normal soap and shower gels and whatever. The reason I decided to come over was the team was Infinity, which Pam had kind of opened not all that long before, but the togetherness and like the core people that were there and then was just amazing. And I joined originally Pam back in 2015 because of health issues. I had 2 operations on my spine. Tried to go back to work, and then had to stop again. And I just wanted something to do. It wasn't really about the money or anything else. I just needed something to do. So to keep sane, really. Then when we joined Oriflame, I quickly realised that maybe my views were pretty wrong. I remember a conversation we had when Pam was telling us, and I says, I can't sell makeup and you know, because I don't use it, but I was completely wrong. All my customers, they know that's me. And I have a lot of customers actually that are loyal because of me, and they buy because of me. They like the products, but the reviews I've been getting recently was really good. So the company, I absolutely fell in love with the company, fell in love with the products, and it's been the best thing I think that I've done. But it was obviously thanks to Pam and everyone else that was looking into the opportunity, because Oriflame to me sounded like a candle company. So, you know, I was like, okay, I had never heard of it, but honestly, it's the
Julie's killing herself laughing. Julie Sharma was like, yeah, with you. That's a brilliant story, Petra. And you know what? We probably all felt like, Oriflame? I don't know. Like it was Swedish? Is it? I mean,
never heard of it, but it's been the best thing.
Yeah.
And the company itself, and you know, all the recent changes that have been made has just made it even better. So yeah, I'm absolutely converted now. So I don't use anything else. I use skincare. I trial and show my customers makeup and stuff like that. I've got more than anyone could ever need. But hey, yeah, amazing. It's an amazing company, so I love it.
That's so powerful, Petra. And certainly, you know, when I was hearing your story then, you were like, I'm me, this is not what I use. And then all of a sudden you said, yeah, but I use everything now. And I'm like, well, hold on a minute. So it's the trust that you build with people by being so authentic. And I think definitely Oriflame is that company that allows you to be yourself in everything you do. So as you were sort of expanding your story, and thank you to those of you that shared, really appreciate it. I want you to think individually, when was the last time you actually shared your story with new customers, with new contacts, with your teams, your buddies? When was the last time you really shared your story? Because quite often it's been a while and you think you tell it all the time, or you think everybody's heard it, don't you? You're like, oh, everyone knows my story. Everyone knows how I got here. My point to you today is that they definitely don't. They don't know what you do. They maybe have a snippet. They may have seen it once 6 months ago, but in your building and in your kind of creating this love of Oriflame, which I think we're all feeling on the chat now. We're just kind of like, I mean, we could go all day with everybody's stories top to toe. You feel really inspired. Oh, Chloe Green, there you go. I've only just started, so I haven't yet, but my story before Oriflame. The last time I shared mine was January this year while I was doing work experience for M&S. And this is the thing, you think you're telling it all the time, and we're not. And actually, I shared my story and obviously got very emotional. And I don't share it that much either, unless someone directly messages me and says, what the hell are you doing in Sweden? I'll then tell them, but I don't publicly tell it. And actually, I'm doing people a disservice because I'm not allowing them to see how incredible this is, because I'm choosing to hide my story, not intentionally, just in living life. So my challenge to you guys, should you choose to accept it, is to share your story today with 3 new people. You can do it any way you want. So you can do it on a live, you can do it on WhatsApp. And I want you to not just share your story with random people. I want you to share with the people that care a lot about you. So if you think about the people in your life, it could be 3, it could be 30, who are really interested in what you're doing and are your biggest fans, right? So think about the people. If you were to text them right now, they'd text you back and be like, yes, go for it. Go on, Vicky. Go on, Julie. Yeah. Think about those people. And I want you to think of kind of a magic number for me. So for me, to give you an example, the people that I would text right now, right this second, that I would get a response from within 5 minutes, they're my people who are kind of my biggest fans in life. They're my 2 best friends, my sister and my mum, right? They'd be my 4 ride or die, always respond, biggest champions. And then I would think, well, maybe who else would I think would respond on Facebook? Perhaps another couple of my favorite people. And they'd be so excited for me doing this today, sharing stories with you guys, having fun, and they'd want to know what I was up to. So I want to know what your number is. So if you were to think right now, you can close your eyes if you want, think of the people in your life that are really inspired by what you do, really care about what you do, and are really on your side. It could be 3, it could be 540, it doesn't matter. But I do want to know what your number is and who you'd be comfortable with sharing your story fully with today. So I want you to think about that and pop it in the chat box for me. So it doesn't matter how many, it matters the quality. 5, amazing, we're off. I've got to get my calculator out, guys. So 5 from Vicky. I can add 5 up. Oh God, hold on. All right, we're off. 5 plus 3. 3 plus, yeah, 7, 5, 38, 41, 48, 52. You're testing my maths here, girls and guys. See 56. We're already at 56. We've only had about 10 responses. Oh God, 61. 65. This is amazing. We're already at 65. 70. I feel like an auctioneer. 70, 70, 70, any else 70, 71, 72. So I'm going to let those numbers keep coming in. And the reason I want you to think about your biggest fans is because that's when you get the confidence, right? So you could say, oh, I've got a Facebook group, I'm going to roll it out to 3,000 of them, or I'm doing a live tonight, so I'll talk about it then. But actually starting with that core of individuals that really champion you makes you feel good about your story and makes you feel like, you know, this is a powerful thing. This is something I could share a little bit bigger. So the challenge really from me to you is to take the confidence from those people and then go bigger and ask for their feedback. So say, you know, what do you think of my story? Have I told you enough? You know me really well. Have I missed anything? Is there something that you think about me that I've completely forgotten about myself? And then craft your story a little bit better. So take their feedback and make it bigger and even more compelling. And then you can share it wider. Does that make sense for everyone? So you kind of test it with your favorites and they're like, you know, stay a while. Don't just tell me in one sentence what you've been doing. Tell me the whole shebang. I remember back when, before you started, you felt like this, and actually this has given you so much more confidence. So really craft it with your favorite people and then blow it out big, because I'm telling you now, as someone who didn't know much about Oriflame, I thank the Lord in heaven that I actually responded to a random message about this company, because I would never have known. And our job in every single thing we do with Oriflame is to show people how bloody amazing it is, excuse my language, because it is, and it transforms lives. And hearing your stories is so inspiring, and there are so many people that haven't heard it yet. Vicky, right, is it a whole life story in a nutshell or just our Oriflame story? Vicky, roll with whatever you like. I would say a little bit about why you joined. I think that's the thing. Why me? Why Oriflame right now? Why now? So if you think of those kind of 3 questions, think about why you joined Oriflame and then share what it's done for you. I'd kind of keep it at that. And then what you'll find is lots of people will ask you some additional questions around everything else. This opportunity and community really makes you believe, yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, we all can. It's wonderful. So do I get a bit of a promise from everyone that we'll share our story today with those people? So can I just get a hands in the air, like a little, yeah, I can see some noddings. Oh, we're going right to the roof. Love it. Petra, can I ask exactly what it is you do in Oriflame? Is that to me? Yes. Petra, are you asking me what I do? Yes. I get a little embarrassed by my title, to be honest with you, Petra. I am Global Training Director. But basically what that means is I would describe it as being nice and helpful for a living. That's what I do. So I try and create material and seminars and conversations that help you to do your jobs better and feel more connected to the company here in Stockholm and everywhere else in the world. So I hope that answers your question. Yeah, thanks for asking. Yeah, I'm always embarrassed by my title. I just so are we happy so far? Yeah, we feel committed to sharing our story. Brilliant. So the next part is around, once you've shared your story and you kind of got that initial interest in what you do and what's magical about Oriflame, I then want to kind of flip it back to the Scandi Beauty skincare session. So kind of taking it from interest into invite, which is what we want, isn't it? Sometimes it's hard to invite people, or it's hard to have that compelling reason to invite someone to a session. Would everyone agree with that? Sometimes it's a bit tricky to find new people. So what I want to think about now is what makes an event really, really special. So I actually want you to think about events in your own life. It could have been when you got married. It could have been your 40th, 50th, 60th, 20th, 30th, 70th, 90th, and you organised a cracking event. So I want you to really think about that. So to give you an example, I would pick my wedding, which was ace. And I really thought about who I wanted to invite. I told them about it quite far in advance, because you do, don't you? Save the date. I then told them exactly when it was going to start, what was going to happen, bit of a rundown, where to park, where to get the best parking, where to get a bit of a discount in this area, all the detail you could possibly need to get to my wedding. And then little notes, little fun things around the theme. I wrote little messages to everyone. So you kind of create this lovely, magical, compelling event that no one could refuse. That was how I looked at our wedding, because I wanted us to be all together in a room. Unfortunately, we planned it so well and we got everyone so excited that everybody said yes, and we didn't have enough people. We didn't have the space. So yeah, it was almost too successful. So we were like ramming people in chairs and like getting people to stand up and eat a bit of buffet because I couldn't fit them in anywhere. But it was the most magical time. And there are certain things you do with those events that make people want to come. So Petra Forbes put my wedding, I organised everything down to every little detail. Friends and atmosphere in my wedding. I choose my business. I ran through high school and college, drove them solo, raised money alone, organised them all myself. Even when I was in hospital with a burst swollen and kidney stone filled kidney. Jesus! When adopted, my boy. Yeah, this is really great stuff, guys, because actually you're thinking about things that have happened in your own life that people can't refuse, that they just want to be a part of because you're so passionate about it. So your wedding, Petra, it must have been coming out of your pores, how excited you were. Oh my God, countdown, it's coming, probably all over everywhere, like 25 days to go, getting the dress fitted. You showed some behind the scenes stuff around this event is happening. I can't wait to see everyone. Another thing to think about is probably you invited everybody, but everybody didn't know everybody. That's when they're really good. You know, when you invite two groups of friends and you think, oh God, I hope this works, the it's going to be hideous. And then they get on better than you do and they walk away and they're WhatsApping and you're like, hold on, I was the one that connected you. Those events are just the best, aren't they? I talked about falling downstairs earlier. I think my brother fell down the stairs 3 times at our wedding, but he had a good time. So there we are. The best stories come from the events. They become almost iconic moments in history, don't they? Of, you know, do you remember when at that particular event? And you're really someone who brings people together in that moment. You bring people together that haven't spent any time together before, and maybe have the only common interest being you, which is a real privilege, isn't it? And what I would say to you, I plan my wedding down to every Judy Kilford, hello. Getting a suit for my doggy and getting him his own buttonhole. I had 5 months to organise my wedding in. Christ, that's impressive. And you even got a buttonhole for your dog. I think I had 10 months to organise my wedding and nearly forgotten a buttonhole for my husband, to be honest. So that's amazing. But yeah, you plan it down to every detail and you're so outwardly excited about these things that people can't help but want to get involved. And that's what we want to take to your business as well, because if you feel like that personally with events that you set up in your own life, people can't refuse it. They can't say no because they just want to be part of this magic. And it's exactly the same with an event like a Scandi Beauty skincare session, right? The more outwardly excited you are, the more countdowns you put on about it, You maybe set the time so it's almost impossible to not come, because there's nothing going on that day other than you. You're the most exciting part that day. Maybe you think about a theme. Maybe there's a reason to stay a little longer. So there's a reason to turn up on time because maybe there's a giveaway at the beginning, and there's a reason to stay till the end because there'll be a special little shout out at the end. Maybe you want your best and biggest Novage fan to come along because they are your biggest champion, and you very kindly give them a special invitation that says, Julie, I know you love Novage more than I do. I'm looking at you, Julie Charman, and I really want you to share your story about how much you love Novage, because you've inspired me to try new things, and I think you would inspire so many other people as well. So you're making things personal. You're making sure that Julie Charman, whatever you do, you're coming. Right, it's not even a conversation. I'm right down the camera at Julie Charman. I will see you at the next Scandi Beauty skincare session. But Julie also feels valued because she's got something to offer. And again, think back to your own events. You probably had a 30th or 40th or 70th, and you gave people certain responsibilities, like, please can you help me with X because I'm going to need your support. And then people feel valued. They don't want to let you down. They want to be there for you. So think about other Oriflame leaders that you think, actually, I really need this person's support. What can they do for me? How can they be there for me at this event? And guaranteed those people will come because they care about you. We're a community. And then maybe you've got your what I call the slide into the DMs type, who's quite sort of quietly interested in Oriflame but doesn't want to publicly talk about it. They're the people you then gently encourage to come along and say nothing, but just listen and see behind the scenes of how you bring this business to life. So you can maybe share with them the PowerPoint script and say, you know what, I didn't know anything about skincare and how healthy skin is, but it's all here for you. So you can actually watch this during the event, stay quiet, and listen to how I bring it to life. And it might be something that you feel inspires you for your own business. So it's taking those kind of things that you've done brilliantly in your own events, in your own lives, where you've followed up with people, you've showed the countdown, you've taken behind the scenes, you've been enthusiastic, you've brought the right people together at the right time, and then doing that for your business. And honestly, it works. I mean, I always have that fear, again, it's very personal. I have this fear that no one's ever going to turn up. Does anyone else get that? Like, you go live. Yeah, yeah. You go live and it's me, myself, and my iPhone, like, hello. And you actually feel a bit sick and you're like, oh my God, no one's going to be there. My mouth's getting more dry. But actually, to take away from that worry, you just check in, don't you? The way to do it is to check in, make sure you're coming. Can't wait to see you. Here's the link again. Make sure, I mean, we started our call today and there was me and Mary, and I was like, I don't think anyone's coming, Mary. This is awful. And then Mary said, hold on, let me just check the link, because, you know, it might be that people have missed it, or they're doing something, they've forgotten what time it starts. And then all of a sudden, all these people jump in. So the way to take away that fear is to prep a little, but also check in a lot. You know, check in that they're going to be there, going to be with you, and share in the joy of Scandi Beauty or whatever session you want to run. Does that sound okay for everyone? Has it got you thinking a little bit differently? So as you go away from the session today, I want you to just take a moment after we come off the call and just write a list to yourself of all the great behaviors you did for those special events that made people want to come. And I want you to kind of think, how can I link that to my life today? Does that make sense for everyone? Amazing. Okay. Oh, I got a thumbs up from Louise's iPad. Lovely. Thanks, Louise. Hello. Great stuff. So now we've talked about what makes a great event and an invite that you can't refuse. And then what I thought I would share with you, because sometimes it's difficult to segment people, isn't it? It's kind of like, well, how do I get so-and-so together and so-and-so together? And do I need to have different types of people attending different types of events? And actually, I'm going to be brave here and say no, not always. Sometimes you segment people depending on where you think they are in their journey, don't you? Would you agree? So you invite people who are really keen for the business to come to a specific meeting, and then the other people to maybe go to something else. And actually, one of the best ways to create this lovely feeling of community is to mix people up. So connect different people. So you invite newcomers, passionate VIP customers, and possible new consultants and existing leaders to each event. So you have a mix of experience and stories. That really takes the pressure off you a little bit, because you've already got some great stories in the mix, if that makes sense. So if you just invite new customers to a Scandi Beauty skincare session, you're going off of a really difficult base, aren't you? You're kind of, no one knows anything really about Oriflame at this point. Maybe they've had a sample, but they're really not falling in love with anything yet. And that's a lot of work for you to do, to bring everybody on that journey with you. Whereas if you've got a fan of Oriflame with you, a fan of Navage, you've got your leader who started you on this journey, and maybe you've got a couple of people who are buying a couple of bits. They've already bought maybe a lipstick or a couple of treats from Oriflame already, and they're sort of joining the community. Then you've got a wealth of stories and experience that really strengthen your session, and it means that you don't have to do as much of the pull, and actually everybody else kind of wants to join in and push. Does that feel comfortable? Does that make sense for people? Yeah? Great, I'm going to take those nods as a yes. And it's a really great, Jenny and Jason, Jenny's like, yeah, just take it as a yeah. I'm not going off mute, take the nod as a yes. But actually the magic of these events is when you've got a mix of people and you're not segmenting too hard and saying, right, today on Mondays I do new customers, on Tuesdays I do possible consultants, because we could be missing that lovely magical interface where someone goes, you know what, I might just get involved. This sounds actually quite exciting. And you're talking about something entirely different, but she hears a story from someone who's 5 years in, loving life, and she thinks, hold on a second, that woman is in a very similar situation than I'm in. And she's done something different with her life, and I feel ready for that. So never miss that opportunity to tell the stories. And you can only have the great stories if you've got a great mix of people. It's like the best wedding, isn't it? You bring everything together, give them a few drinks, and let her go raging. So the other thing I just want to call out is a couple of don'ts in your event. Don't have one generic invite for everyone. Be personal wherever you can. And there are ways to be personal. So don't use one messaging platform for events. Choose those multiple ways to connect with the right people in the right way. And again, if you think back to your big events, you wouldn't have WhatsApped your great auntie to come to your wedding. You would have sent her something very special. Whereas your best mate is probably on a continual chat about all the details around your wedding or your 40th or whatever it may be. Don't book events at difficult times, and actually ask your audience what's best for them. I think that's really nice. So having that little poll saying, what's best for you, 7, 8, 9, Tuesday, Saturday, and you then feel like you can respond to that group and say, you chose it, therefore I'm doing this for you. And then again, they feel compelled because they feel like you've done something special for them, so they wouldn't want to let you down and not attend. And don't forget to ask your audience what they want to learn next, because this gives you a guaranteed attendance for your next event. So ask that question at the end and say, what else do you want from me? And then take those comments, take that chat, create something, push it back to them and say, I've created this really for you guys because you supported me so much in the first event. And then don't forget to ask for feedback, and feedback across the board. So ask for feedback from your Navage customer, your best customer, and say, what did you think? Was it okay? Did I miss anything? Did I miss any of your favorite things about Navage? Ask for feedback from your new person. So someone who's brand new, you know, did it feel like a community? Was it intimidating? Did I bring you in enough? Did you get anything from it? Really, that follow-up has to be even more personal than the invite. And then that allows you to then segment a little bit to what's next for that person. So it may be that you start to see then key trends, and you see that maybe Paul and Rachel are both at the same sort of feeling about joining in for the opportunity. So you say, you know what, Paul, there was a girl called Rachel on the call the other day, and she's at a similar stage as you, so I'd love to bring you two together and have a conversation about the opportunity. So the magic there is really in the follow-up and that personal touch when you've had a group of people that with different journeys and they've come together for a common experience and then pushed off from there. That feel good for everyone? Yeah, so my biggest call out is open it wide, but keep it cozy. So don't think, right, I'm going to invite my entire network to the next one, because then you lose the intimacy, you lose the coziness. So instead of doing that, instead of holding one big session, think about, okay, I've got 100 people that I think would want to come. I'm going to do 5 sessions of 20, but instead of segmenting by new, existing, fans, and so on, I'm going to mix a little bit of each person in every single one. So you do 5 sessions, but you've got conversations from every stage of their Oriflame life. Yeah? Great, I can see some smiles and noddings. Am I giving you some ideas? Anyone heads whirring a little bit? Yeah? Yeah, Christine's like, oh my God. So there are lots of tools that you can use to do this. And I think, you know, Oriflame Social, tools from different leaders, but really the biggest tool in creating a great invite and making sure that people attend your lovely Scandi Beauty session and bringing your business to the next level is really you. Listening to you today is so inspiring, because I would want to join any one of your sessions, because you're human beings with a great story to tell and you're very passionate about what you do. So when you're thinking about what is it that makes your event compelling as opposed to something else, I want you to really own that as your DNA. Like, this is what I bring to every event. So I suppose mine would be relentless enthusiasm. That's my USP. I'm surprised, delighted, excited about pretty much everything in life, which is, you know, some people's cup of tea and not others. But that's who I am. And, you know, if you ever join a session with me, I'll always be excited, delighted, and energized, regardless of whether I fell down the stairs or not. So think about your USP. I think there's so many lovely things about each one of you. Petra, I love the fact that you're just so real, and you're like, yeah, I don't wear makeup outside of this, but you know, when I'm here and I'm totally for it. That's your USP. I want to come to your event to see from you. And that's what I would say about the materials. So the materials that we share with you and we give you that hopefully support your business are there as guides. They're not there as script and copy it to the letter, because that's not what we feel is necessary for people who run their businesses successfully as you guys do. So my push to you is to take the tools, take the material, have a look through them, and then craft your own way of telling that story and way of running that event. And please do share your successes with us, because they're what drives all of us and all of our inspiration. We could make bazillions of PowerPoints, but it doesn't work. You want to see a face that speaks to you and inspires you. So all the information you can have, but really put your own spin on it and share your successes, share how you've created this magic with your events. And one thing I want to leave you with before we say goodbye for today is a little bit around tracking success and best practice behaviors. So in your activity trackers, which you may or may not see very often, there's kind of some everyday behaviors that you can follow. And sometimes you look at them and you think, oh my God, that's a lot. Or I sort of do that and I don't do it all the time. But I wanted to share with you a little story from Meg Strickland, who's been using this tracker as someone who's been with the brand for such a long time, has kind of gone back to it and thought, okay, so how can I take my everyday good and make it even better with some of the extra tools we've got from Oriflame. So I'm going to take my WhatsApp here, and here she is. All right, so sorry, it's been a crazy day. It's always a crazy day, isn't it? So for me personally, I've massively improved my VIP sales, skincare set sales, and seen an increase in business. For my leaders, I encourage all of them to follow the tracker and encourage their teams to as well. We've grown sales ridiculously, more new VIPs and starters than ever. Sophia and Mary will vouch for me in that. Getting the team to be consistent in recruiting sometimes has been hard for me in the past. We've gone from no promotions in C4 and 5 to 15 in 6 and 7. And honestly, I know it's because I've been absolutely consistent with the tracker, and so have the leaders. And it's rubbing off to the teams of consultants they are seeing us with this consistency. I think what's helped too is that we're in lockdowns. It's give the team a focus. we created a lockdown, locked-in group the other day after the tracker challenge, and basically used the tracker as a guide in setting up our challenges each day, building up to doing every one every day. So yeah, it's been mega for me. Thanks. And that's direct from Meg. So if you're feeling like you need a bit more structure to it and you think, actually, I want to do more best practices, I want to do more, I want to build my business even more, have a little look at that activity tracker and commit to just 2 weeks of trying to do it every day, and see if there's a bit of a difference like Meg felt. But from me to you, the biggest thing today, the biggest thing I want you to take away from today is the story. Share your story and watch that magic come back at you, and then share it again and again, and share someone else's story and share their magic and their talent. And that's how we will grow Oriflame even more, so that people are banging down the door to discover the secrets of Scandinavian beauty. Is that okay? Any questions, any comments? Oh, thank you, Christine. That's so sweet. I don't really see it as training. I just see it as chatting to you guys for an hour. It's lovely. It's like the best part of my day.
Rachel, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Rachel, I just want to say thank you. I mean, this was amazing. You're saying you're not seeing it as training. I think this is the way to train nowadays, right? I know this is the way we also want to engage with the customers. And I think what you have done, you have just shown how to do it in real life. And I think that's amazing. So on behalf of all of us, huge thank you for doing what you just did in 1 hour. This is just amazing. Rachel,
Pleasure.
thank you so much.
Pleasure. And yeah, I've just got to finish on Petra's thing. The best piece of advice I ever got is be yourself. Yeah, I think the quote is be yourself, everyone else is taken. Yeah. Yes, if you're not yourself, people can see it straight through the camera. They can tell when you're not being authentic and not being your own self. So only talk about things that you believe in and are passionate about. And if you ever feel like you're struggling with it and you think, I can't see the passion, I can't get there, I can't get passionate about this product or this thing, find someone who is, and then tell their story. That's the way to do it. So not always, you can't be passionate about every single part of every single business. You just can't. You can't love every single product. You can't love every single fragrance, but you can seek out the love in someone else and find out what they love about it, and then tell their story, which is which is a good piece of advice as well. Pleasure, absolute pleasure to see you. Thank you. I don't really want to go. You guys are like my favorites, and the only thing I've got to look forward to this afternoon is writing a presentation that I haven't started yet. So,
but I guess, Rachel, we will see you very soon in one of the next Wednesday's training. So, guys, the bootcamp continues every Wednesday at 11 o'clock. And next Wednesday, we're gonna have our Western European training manager Gurbinder presenting the opportunity and the presentation, so the business bit. And then Rachel will be back. I think.
Yeah, I'll be back. Yes, and what I love when I come back, so I'm off now for 2 weeks. I'm not off, I'm here, but I'm just not with you guys. So try some of these exercises out for size, and if you could bring some feedback to the next session on two Wednesdays time, so 2 weeks time. So you're going to see the Oriflame opportunity next week by Gurbinder, which is absolutely killer. She's wonderful. And then come back on the next session and share some of your stories of how it's been successful for you. I would be absolutely honored to hear them. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Rachel.
It's been a pleasure. I will see you all soon.